Hi, my name is Ebi Weyime, and today's child-free question is, hi, how did you tell your parents that you are child-free, and how did they react? Let me first start by saying, I hate this question. I hate it. You know why? Because why is it that it's child-free people who have to explain themselves to the world, to society, to their parents, to anyone? Why is it that child-free people have to quote-unquote come out? Why? If you really think about it, the person who should be breaking the news should be the person having the child. Why do I say that? Because when you have a baby, your whole life changes. Like literally, it does a 180 from your finances to your physical health, to your mental health, to your emotional health. I mean, it's 2024. For you to have a baby, you really must have a good reason. You really must explain to the world why you're choosing such a path. But for someone like me that's child-free, my life literally does not change. If I don't have a child, my life continues exactly the same. Actually, some might argue it even gets better. But on the other hand, we have people, I'm sure all of you know someone who definitely should not be having kids, be it a man or a woman. You're like, these people should not be having children. Each and every one of us knows someone like that. However, such people are not required to explain anything. If they want a child, they can just have a child. There's no interviews, there's no questions, there's no coming out, there's nothing. They can just have a child. But me, someone who's literally not changing my life in any way, I have to come to the world and announce, hello, I am choosing not to have children. Why is it that way? It doesn't even make sense. Anyway, now to answer your question, I came out to my parents at around 2019, beginning of 2020. That's when I came out to my parents, and how I did it, I had like a test run. So I talked to my grandparents, who are very strict religious people who follow tradition to the letter and follow Christianity and religion and all of that. So I knew the answer was going to be no, for sure. I knew that, but I just wanted to like practice, just see how it's gonna go. I talked to my grandparents, and of course they said no, absolutely not. You're not child-free, that's not a thing. But again, that was expected. I also talked to my elder brother and his wife. My brother is more of a neutral guy. He's more like, well, if you like it, you do it. It's your life. You know, so him and his wife are more easygoing. So they would not really say yes or no because they have kids of their own. So they will not say yes or no, but they're very free. They're the type of people that just want you to live your life the way you want to live your life. So by the time I was approaching my parents, I had kind of had some training. I had kind of prepared myself because I did not know which direction it's going to go. How I was always raised to speak up and to go with my heart and to do what I feel like doing. However, I knew that when it comes to me having kids, my parents would definitely want to have a say in it, and I would respect their opinion. However, the final decision would still lie with me. So how did I tell them? By simply telling them, hi mom, hi dad, I've been thinking about it and I don't think I ever want to have kids. Actually, I am never having kids. And of course, my mom thought it was a joke. She just thought, you're silly. You're just being a child. You'll mature, you'll have kids. She really was not worried about it. She just thought I was going through a phase. My dad, however, knew I was being serious. Like this was actually happening. So his idea was, why don't I freeze my eggs? I freeze my eggs because he was sure that I am unsure of my life. Like many parents, they still look at you like a child. So they just imagine that you don't know what you want. So he said, why don't you just freeze your eggs? And then when you're old enough and mature enough, and mind you, by then I was already in my 30s. So I was old enough, I was mature enough. I mean, if I'm old enough and mature enough to have a child, why am I not old enough and mature enough to know that I do not want a child? Anyway, I did take my parents' advice, my dad's advice with the freezing of the eggs. I started doing research on how much it was going to cost. I knew that they have that service at Nairobi Hospital. By then, when I was checking, it was gonna cost about 500K just to harvest the eggs, and then they had a yearly fee of, I think, 200K just to freeze the eggs, because they have to keep it in a special place. So you have to like pay a yearly fee to just have the eggs there for when you're ready to use them. It was during that time in 2020 while I was still researching on egg freezing, and to be honest, I was only doing it just to make my dad happy, because he wanted me to have a backup plan. He said, I don't mind you not wanting kids now. I know you're just a child and you'll change your mind. So why don't you freeze your eggs so that by the time you're tying your tubes, because at that point I'd already talked about tying my tubes, but it was just a plan at that point. I'd not actually gone through with it. So it's like, before you tie your tubes, just freeze your eggs so that in case you change your mind, you're still able to become a mom. But then come 2020, I actually got pregnant. Yeah, I got pregnant, and it was fetus deletus, like right immediately. Pop, pop, chop, chop, very quickly. I had an abortion, and being pregnant was actually the worst feeling that I ever had. Just imagining that there was something growing inside me. I keep saying I was pregnant for 3 days, though I was pregnant for 5 weeks. I say I was pregnant for 3 days because I only knew of my pregnancy within 3 days. Like within 3 days, that pregnancy was gone. And now that I look back, I am glad that I did get pregnant, because it really cemented the fact that I do not want to be a parent and I never want to be pregnant. So let's not even talk of freezing the eggs, because I am definitely not having this feeling again. Some of my friends would tell me, oh, you're just talking about it, but when you get pregnant, your feelings change and your emotions change and you change your mind. Oh, trust me, I was pregnant and I did not change my mind. Actually, if anything, it cemented the fact that pregnancy is really not for me. So I had my abortion in July of 2020, and in October of 2020, I went to Marie Stopes, I tied my tubes, and now I am happy. If you're watching this on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, or any other social media platform that you may have found this video from, please remember to follow us at the Childfree African. Remember to follow, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.